So right here is like my Tiger Wall of Fame. Been here 5 years, and every player that has been here has to sign the wall before leaving out of this gym, before leaving out of this school. So I just started this year, but as you can see, it's probably about 25 names, just because past, present, and future. Got to get the rest of the guys here, but I think it's done something. Like I was telling you, it makes the guys feel like they're a part of something. And I'm just happy that I'm happy I could be a part of their lives, and I'm happy they inspire me the same exact way.
Okay.
Kids have given me new life, and just, I walk in that gym and I see those guys, man, and it's a lot of fun. It's one of those things that I realize is much bigger than just being a coach. I realize everything's kind of come full circle. So the guys that were mentors to me, now I'm kind of in their role, of being a mentor, being an uncle, a father, or a coach, or whatever it is that these kids need me to be. So I love it. I love it. I wouldn't want to do anything else, honestly.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC newsletter. As I've said several times, in addition to being a YouTube content creator, I am also a writer, and I'm working on a book. Speaking of which, I'm here with a very, very special guest. I am on location in Buffalo, New York, my hometown, and I was able to get Jason Rowe to sit down with me, this time in person, for a live interview. So those of you who have been following me and who have been subscribed to this channel, I've been talking, in addition to Michigan football, I've been talking about the book. It's a true life story about what playing basketball at an early age for a brief time in Section 6 in Western New York. It's about what that taught me about life, success, and failure going forward. And I interviewed, about 36 players and coaches over the last 5 years since I've been working on this. But the big one was you, Jason. And when I say the big one, I just mean that you're a Section 6 legend. You're a Yale Cup legend. And for me to, we didn't know each other personally back then. I didn't know Damien, I didn't know Tim, I didn't know Dennis or any of the guys personally. So to be an unknown, to come want to interview guys, it certainly helped that I could say, I interviewed Jason Rowe. And I think Tim saw that. He said, okay, well, yeah, you can interview me too. Yeah. And then Carlos Bradbury said, yeah, you can interview me too. And then Damien, and then so on, et cetera, et cetera. So I really, really appreciate, let me shake your hand. No. I really appreciate you being willing to talk about your basketball story and what it was like for you on the way up. And it was really, really interesting listening to you, to your story, Damien's story, Tim's story, everyone's story, but you just, until you hear about it, you don't appreciate what it takes to ascend on the basketball court like that. Do you want to say a few words about your path?
Thank you for being interested. Thank you for allowing me to tell, my story or what was going on from my perspective. Again, a lot of people have, they think of it one particular way, but very few people have actually asked me and said, what was it like? So thank you for allowing me to actually get it out so people can understand. It's not like there was controversy or anything like that, but a lot of times people just go with it. They just go with their version or their perspective, and a lot of times they don't really talk to the actual person who went through it or see it from their eyes.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's one of the things that this experience has taught me, and that's that, when I was at Hutch Tech, of course you guys came and took over the Yale Cup and in Section 6, and while all that was going on, you're hearing all these, you hear things about practice, you hear things about Coach Cardinal, you hear things about who's recruiting you guys. You're hearing things about you guys going to AAU. So there's a lot of hearsay, a lot of he say, she say. But until you sit down and talk with a person, you really don't know
exactly
what was all entailed in their path and how they did what they did.
Yeah.
So that's very, very valuable.
No, it's and I think a lot of times, if I could just say something real quick, I think a lot of times that people forget that we were kids. We're 14, we're 15, 16, 17 years, like we're kids. And so we're trying to navigate decisions and how to handle popularity and things of that nature at such a young age. I don't think people understand how difficult it is because they just place these expectations and sit there and say, oh, Jason Rowe, you're going to the league. I just want to go home. I want to see my mother. I want to eat a home-cooked meal. I want to hang out with my dad. You know what I mean? I want to wrestle with my brother. Like, you know what I mean? There's that the human side that I think that people actually forget about, that they overlook that just because of some stardom that happened or some success that happened on the basketball court. So again, thank you.
Okay. So everyone, my print interview with Jason, that's going to be below in the description box, and also Jason, I think we did it via Zoom. Maybe about 2 years ago, we did a follow-up. So those will all be in the description box below. Some highlights I can think of. I mean, just hearing about you going to the Georgia Tech camp, and even just your family, your Uncle Lester, was it your cousin James?
Yes.
Just hearing the whole lineage. Your father's influence. Recruiting Damien. Damien told me his side of the story of you recruiting him. Just the ascension, going back to the Final Four twice, going back to Glens Falls. By the way, I went to Glens Falls for the first time because my dad lives out there in the Albany area, and I wanted to shoot some location footage for the channel, for the book. And I went in the Glens Falls Civic Center for the first time. It took me 45 years to get out there. But I finally went in there and I saw it. So I felt like I was in hallowed ground. But your experience at the college level, the pro level, being roommates with Kobe. Yeah. Those are all highlights that are in the print interview, everyone, and our follow-up 2 years ago. Before we jump in, I have some basic questions here. Talk about the coaching experience. Has it been from when you started till now? Is it what you thought it would be?
It's better than what I thought it would be.
Okay.
Because originally I didn't want to coach. I didn't want to have anything to do with coaching because I didn't like the emotions that are involved in coaching. The highs, the lows. You're yelling, you're screaming, you're crying, you're happy. I don't like my emotions going that way. But this was a very good opportunity, and I realized for me to do what I wanted to do, I needed to take the job.
Okay.
I knew when I retired, or had an idea when I retired, that I wanted to help young athletes or young men. This is the perfect platform for it. So this has allowed me to reach out and be of an influence to some of these young men, the same way that Trevor Ruffin, Garcia Leonard, my father, Curtis Aiken, countless people were to me. This was my way of giving back. This was just the perfect opportunity for it. So coaching has been wonderful. I didn't know that I didn't have to be what I thought. I could, have some of those influences. Coach Cardinal, who coached me in traditional, and Coach Rob Lanier, who's now at SMU, had to be some similar to those guys, and put my little personality onto it and just run with it, man. I'm having a blast.
Okay. Now, just briefly, I know I've asked you about this, and you probably get asked about this a lot. What are the players like today versus when we were playing? We're in this digital age. Everything's fast. Everything's on social media.
And that's the key right there. You just said it. Everything's fast.
Yeah.
They want everything right away. There's no patience. There's no. I don't want to say they're not working, right? Because I'm a trainer, so I also know that if they weren't working, I wouldn't be working as a trainer. But they want everything right away. They'll have a good season or have a good tournament, and they feel like they're supposed to be awarded this $250,000 Division I scholarship. They don't understand that it's a process, that it doesn't happen overnight. In their defense, the things that they see happen, or what they believe to see, happens overnight. So I use the example if a young man, if a student athlete is on the court and he goes to a tournament and he's playing against a guy who's, let's just say he's going to Kentucky or he's going to Michigan, and he plays well, in his mind, if he plays well against this guy, he automatically thinks, I should have a scholarship to Michigan.
Okay.
It doesn't work that way. It's this young man's journey, that's his lane. So a lot of times the kids get distorted in their view. They get distorted in that vision. And it's hard to sit there and say, hey, young fella, just relax. What's meant for you is going to happen. You have to do your part, but stay on course. And so I think that's the biggest difference. So again, I know they're working. I know, again, I'm in the gym with them. But I think they want it overnight and they're just drawn into social media success. They want to, a lot of times they get these scholarship offers or interests and they don't even want to go to the school. They just want to post on social media, I received this. But they don't even take the school serious. So where us, we understood the grind, we understood the work. And when we received it, we were way more appreciative because we didn't know what this other guy was doing somewhere else in DC, New York. We just worked. And again, for me, that's the biggest difference that I see. It's not that they're soft or they're not. They just have the access to information is different for them. And so it allows them to kind of have, like I said, kind of have a distorted view on what it takes to get there.
Okay. Now, before we move on, I know that at the college level, there's a lot of one and dones now. So the top players, they might go for a year and then go to the pros. Are they looking up mostly to players like Steph and James Harden and LeBron now, or what do you hear your players whispering about?
Well, they're following their peers.
Yeah.
But yeah, they look at Steph, they look at LeBron, they look at James Harden, they look at Kyrie Irving. So trust me, as a trainer, sometimes I'm like, hey, listen.
Show me how to shoot from beyond half court.
Yeah, make this layup with your left hand first. I can't teach you how to shoot and turn around and look at the crowd before the ball goes in. I can get you to a point, 1 dribble, 2 dribble, pull up. But they're looking at the same, it was no different than when we were growing up. I looked at Jordan, I looked at Isaiah, I looked at Magic and Bird. So they, it's good that they have someone that they idolize at the level that they want to get to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's talk about how things have gone here at Timon over the last, 1.5 to 2 years. I guess this would be the first normal season back. What was it like, the 2021, 22 season?
2021-22 season was good. I was able to kind of have a full schedule. Unfortunately, we lost 2 games due to COVID.
Oh, okay.
Where last year, we could only play our league games. There was no non-league games. We only played our league games. So at least this year, they were able to play more games. COVID, again, has some restrictions, but it just felt good to have the guys in the game, have our crowd here, have our student section, going crazy like they normally do. It was just great to have the guys under normal circumstances, better circumstances, I should say, because everything wasn't normal for when we had to play with mask on. I had to coach with a mask on, and at times it was, it's a little tough, but this is the times we're in right now. You have to adjust.
Okay. Okay, and you guys made it to. You were telling me you guys were in postseason play for the Senior Martin League.
Yes, we made it to the championship for the 3rd straight year in the Monsignor Martin League. Unfortunately, we lost, but again, it was a great achievement for having such a young team, for coming back from COVID and all of those other things and distractions. But we were able to, the guys did a great job of locking in, focus, and getting to that championship game.
Okay. So for question number 2, I'm going to share what we talked about on the way into this room.
Okay.
I have a small basketball history here at Timon myself. My first coach had us in a summer league here, and someone told me in my research that coaches couldn't coach us over the summertime back in those days. I don't know if that's true. But he basically, we had to police ourselves. We were here, putting ourselves in the game, taking ourselves out, deciding which offense to run. And I remember in the summer league, not understanding my role. I remember wanting to rebound the ball and get out in the open court and dribble a little bit, even though my skill set there wasn't. And one of our captains saying, "Don't dribble, just pass it to me," So there was that, and just not understanding how to put everything together. So I remember that at the summer league here at Timon. And then as I described to you, I had the don't show up to a game late lesson.
Yeah.
We were playing Timon here in the evening, and it was on me. I probably should have told my brother, let's leave an hour early or whatever. But we got here, and I saw my coach and my teammates going up the stairs. They were dressed, and I ran downstairs, got dressed, and he sat me for the first half, and then he let me have it at halftime.
Yeah.
So on that note, in the last 1.5 to 2 years, since the last time we talked, have you learned anything about coaching? Is there anything that new that you learned that you didn't know before, or is it something that you're steadily learning more about?
Patience. You gotta have patience and understanding, and that's and it's been this way since I started coaching. Patience, understanding, and knowing how to talk to everyone.
Okay.
There's guys that through the years I could really get into them to motivate them. I can challenge them a particular way, and they'll respond. And then there's other guys I knew I couldn't be as aggressive. I had to find a different way, just kind of be passive aggressive with my words.
Okay.
And I knew that would motivate them. So that's the biggest thing, like just knowing how to talk to each individual person on your team. Whether you have 12 guys, 15 guys, you have to know how to talk to each and every person, and especially in the heat of battle.
Okay.
Right? You're in a game and everybody's yelling and screaming, and I'll use the example this year, a guy, Kevin Thompson, our MVP of our team. He's probably going to be first team all Western New York. He was the heart and soul of our team. We had a big game, and he was trying to dribble through the press and by himself, and I wanted him to pass the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I called a timeout, and I just ripped into him. I ripped into him because it was a reoccurring situation. Like, I don't want you to use the energy. Just pass the ball. You can come back and get it. We'll finish. We'll do what we need to do as far as running the offense. So as he comes to the bench, he goes, all right, coach, all right. And I just ripped into him. I let him have it. Let him have it. Let him have it. Like 3 years ago, Kevin wouldn't have responded that way, right? He wouldn't have responded at all. So we're coming out of the timeout, and I probably spent 30 seconds of the 1 minute ripping into him. As he walks out on the court, I looked at him and I whispered in his ear, go get the ball and take us home. He needs that part. Whereas maybe my first year I would have ripped into him and I just would have let it go. But as much as I got into it, I had to pick him up. In the very next play, he goes get the ball and he gets fouled. And he goes to the free throw line and he knocks the 2 free throws down, and we're looking at each other. I'm kind of giving him a signal like, yeah, great job. He's winking his eye at me. And it was just one of those moments to where, again, as a coach, you have to know what to say and how to say it and who to say it to. Because like I said, 3 years ago, that interaction wouldn't have happened. Not that way. Like I said, I would have said what I said and then turned away and just still been angry about the situation versus sitting there boosting him back up saying, hey, I know you made this mistake, but go get the ball, take us home. And like I said, he knocked the free throws down and we were good.
Okay. So I think what I hear you saying, interestingly, is that it's not in terms of reaching your players and getting the most out of them, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly.
You got to know your troops.
Exactly. You have to, because again, you're dealing with so many personalities and they're dealing with yours. And so you can't be so self-centered into thinking it's my way and it has to. No, I have to talk to him this way. I may have to sit there and pat this kid on the head and sit there and say, hey, it's okay, in that tone. But then there's another kid I'm going to sit there and say, hey, get it together. And they understand. There's another kid I may just look at, like my mom used to look at me when I got in trouble. I may just give him a look and he'll understand, right? And those are 3 totally different ways to communicate to a player, to a student athlete, but they all get it. And that's one of the biggest things that I've learned. That, and like I said, patience, because they're still young and they're still going to do things a particular way. And I have to have the patience and understanding to try to coach and teach and coach them differently. So there's a guy that I can sit there and say, okay, we're going to run this play, and that's all I have to say to him. There's another guy I may have to go, again, it goes back to the communication, but there's another guy I may have to physically draw the play out. But I have to have the patience to not give up on the kid that I have to draw the play out for. I can't sit there and get frustrated with him and be like, okay, he didn't pay attention. No, he processes things differently. He learns differently, and I have to understand that to get the most out of him that I need to get, or that we need as a team out of him.
Okay. That's interesting. And I think that's something that, excuse me, that definitely translates into the work world,
Yeah.
as well as a manager, no matter which capacity you're in. Okay, very good, very good. This last one, and I'll probably ask you something about training, your Euro training afterwards.
Okay.
Do you foresee yourself for the rest of your career? Do you want to stay at the high school level, or did you ever dream about college? Or
I don't know.
Okay.
I really and truly don't know. I'm having fun. I'm having fun now, and I'm in the moment. And
in the moment.
Yeah, I'm in the moment.
I remember you saying that.
I'm in the moment. I'm in the moment. Yeah, like that's big for me. I'm in the moment. I don't want to look too far ahead. I'm angry that we lost the championship this year. So for me, I'm in preparation mode for next year, for next season. But I don't want to think about a college situation, or I feel like I'm cheating the group that's here right now if I start thinking that way. Yes, I have my daughter that I need to take care of, and she's fine. She's fine. She doesn't need anything but me around. So all of those things are in consideration for me when it comes to thinking that far ahead. So if there's an ideal situation, obviously I would listen. But for right now, I am happy. These guys here at Timon take great care of me, and I'm happy about that. Okay.
Now, did I see on, because we're Facebook friends, did I see that your brother got his own?
Yes.
Where's he coaching?
Mount Mercy, which is right around the corner, actually. This was his first year of coaching, and I'm super proud of him. I'm super, super proud of him. I remember going to his first game, and, I'm that guy. I get emotional in emotional moments. So it was just awesome to see, my brother leading his team. The first game, I'm there, I got my camera out. I felt like a proud dad, even though I'm the big brother. I got my camera out, and I left my own practice early just to be there to support him. So I'm super proud of him.
You guys scheduled each other yet?
No, he's coaching girls.
You better not.
Yeah, right.
You better not.
He's coaching girls, but we do plan on doing a doubleheader because again, his school is our sister school, which is right around the corner.
I didn't know that.
Yep, this is our sister school. So
Timon's all boys?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Timon's all boys, Mercy is all girls. So we're going to try to schedule a doubleheader next year to, just to have, I just think it'll be awesome. Have his team, have his girls' team playing, have our team playing on the same day. And I just think it'll just be great for the community, great for the city. Like, just a win-win situation for everyone.
Okay. Have you, did you play Niagara Falls this year, or do you ever schedule that?
No.
For your non-league?
We probably will.
Okay.
More than likely, we'll probably play. We played them in the summer league, in the fall league, which really doesn't, tell too much about your team.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice to go up there and play them, or them come here. It'll be a good game, yeah.
Okay.
Carlos is doing an excellent job. Coach Bradbury is doing an excellent job with those guys up there. So set it up.
Good to see him get a coaching position.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. He earned it. He's doing a great job with those guys.
Okay. So you want to talk a little bit about Euro training?
Yeah,
Tell us
sure.
about Euro training.
I started training 2012. Just when I was coming home, what was happening, a lot of people were asking to work out with me. And at first, first 12 years of my career, I was by myself. I didn't want to work out with anyone. But again, I had to start thinking outside the box and be selfless. There's things that I could help, that I felt like I could help with, and people wanted to pick my brain and get in the gym with me. Same way again, Curtis Aiken, Trevor Ruffin, those guys did for me, so it was my way of giving back. And here we are 10 years later. I didn't realize it was 10 years. Oh, wow.
Time goes by fast.
Yeah, 10 years later, things are picking up. I've been in the gym with Jordan Nawara, who, won a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks this year. Davion Warren, who was in a tournament with Texas Tech. So, the business is growing, everything is growing. And I'm just happy just to be in the gym. I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym, something I've done all my life. I'm able to give back and have certain conversations and try to, motivate and inspire and push these guys on to another level with their basketball game. Males and females. Honestly, it's not just males. You know, I've been in the gym with Shay Chesky, who's going to North Carolina. I'm sorry, she's gonna kill me. Penn State next year. Kyra Wood, who played at City Honors here, who's at Temple. So you know, I've had a couple WNBA players. So
wow.
yeah, so it's a blessing. It's a blessing, especially. I started off with one person a week on a Saturday. That's all I had was one, and it just grew and grew and grew. And I'm just, you know, again, I'm just happy to be able to give back.
Okay. All right. Well, I still want to try to get you and Tim, because he's got his training going.
We talked
on a live stream. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That well, for me that would be huge, and I think folks would like seeing the two of you.
That's my guy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked. We actually talked about doing a camp this summer together.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're probably
keep
gonna
me posted.
We'll do. We talked maybe beginning of the basketball season for me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna come together, talk, you know, hash out, see what we need to do, and get this thing rolling.
Okay. I don't. You guys are talking about this behind the scenes, but would you guys do it here? Or would you do it?
It'll be here. It'll
Okay.
be well here, meaning
Western
somewhere
New
in
York.
Buffalo. Yes, exactly. So
Okay.
stay tuned. Stay
Keep
tuned.
me posted. I'll come back and, you know, if I can, just do a story on it or
Appreciate it.
cover it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, Jason, if you don't have anything else, that's all I've got. Do you have any words of wisdom for the middle schoolers and
just stay focused. You know, there's a lot of distractions. You know, and I tell people all the time, you know, just stay focused. No matter what it is that you want to do, just stay forward, stay on your path. Don't let anything take you away from whatever your dream is. It's your dream.
Okay. Well, Jason, thank you again.
Thank you.
I appreciate this. Appreciate your time, and again for you being the big one, the first,
a lot of pressure.
interview for. You said that on our call.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Again, my previous interviews with Jason, the print interview, the big one, and then the follow-up from 2020, that, and I'll probably leave the other ones in there in addition to the page I created for my book. Those will all be below in the description box. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. And if you want to donate something to the channel, if you enjoyed this, that information will be below in the description box as well. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye. All right, go ahead.
So right here is you know, like my Tiger Wall of Fame. I've been here 5 years, and every player that has been here has to sign the wall before leaving out of this gym, before leaving out of this school. So I just started this year. But as you can see, it's probably about 25 names, just because, you know, past, present, and future. Got to get the rest of the guys here, but I think it's done something. You know, like I was telling you, it makes the guys feel like they're a part of something. And I'm just happy that I'm happy I could be a part of their lives, and I'm happy they can inspire me the same exact way.
Okay. And you one thing that's important to you is you're building them into men.
Yes, I want to build them into men. I want them to be, you know, responsible men, you know, that carry on a legacy. But I think with this, it just made them feel like they're a part of something. Hopefully they can pass down the same feeling and the same inspiration as they get older.
Well, my mentality personally was to be the best ball player I could be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm growing up around Trevor Ruffin.
Yeah.
I'm growing up with my uncle, so that inside the home pressure
Yeah.
to be successful at it is what was one of the things that drove me personally.
Okay.
And, you know, I was fortunate enough to have that quote unquote basketball